AITA for laughing, while husband was howling in pain after being bitten by our puppy. My husband and I are in our 30s, have been married 5 years, and have 2 dogs currently. When he got our older dog shortly before we got married, we had discussed it several times, but the decision to actually go and get her had been unilaterally his. Because of this, and also the fact that he's owned dogs growing up while I haven't, I expected him to train her properly, including teaching her how to behave appropriately. Apart from teaching her the most basic commands like sit, he spent all his time just playing with her and reinforcing the exact opposite behavior of what would be appropriate for a dog. This was a sore point during the first 2 years of our marriage. She would make in the apartment due to no consistency with taking her out of control barking, bad separation anxiety, etc. I took over her training because it just wasn't happening otherwise. One of the things he would do was play rough with her, like holding her down and trying to bite her ears, things that were playful to him but were teaching her to be physically reactive. Let me clarify here that he wasn't actually hurting her, more annoying her, but it would make her react by trying to bite. I started to tell him off and the behavior went down, but he has still continued to do it. She has also learned that he's playing with her, and it's not an acceptable way to react to anyone other than him. My main concern was her trying to bite guests, other dogs, or kids the same way. Now, our older dog is a Maltese, and her full-grown weight is a whopping 10 pounds long. Earlier this year, we got a golden doodle puppy. She's not full-grown yet, but considerably bigger than the Maltese. As with our older dog, husband started playing rough with the puppy as well. She's not as reactive as the Maltese, but she's playful and loves to bite as is. Noticing this behavior, I warned my husband multiple times to not encourage her biting, so it doesn't turn into a behavioral or safety issue later on, since she's a bigger dog and will easily be 50 pounds full-grown. I've also disciplined the puppy multiple times for nipping at me, and she seems to understand that this specific human doesn't like it and lays off me, but doesn't understand it's not acceptable with others either. He has continued to do it when he thinks I'm not watching, and probably when I'm not home. The other night, he was playing with the puppy, and she must have gotten really excited because she bit him pretty hard. She didn't break skin, but my husband was howling with pain. My usual reaction to something like this would be concern, but since there wasn't any blood and he had repeatedly ignored my warnings of this happening, I couldn't help myself and I just started laughing. It was the most satisfying quote I told you so / moment. Husband got mad and said he feels hurt that I was laughing at him instead of disciplining the puppy. I told him you reap what you sow. So, AITA. He was mad that you were laughing instead of disciplining the puppy. He expected you to discipline her for behavior that he caused. Discipline the husband instead. NTA. Although kind of an AH for getting another, bigger dog when you knew what would happen. NTA for laughing. He fafo ed YTA for getting another, bigger dog though after his lack of responsibility with the first one. For 2 years of your 5-year marriage, you guys had a sore spot when it came to the dog, and then you got another one. Man, this life and marriage sounds exhausting. NTA, but neither of you should own a dog. ESH, your husband sucks for obvious reasons. He is loading a weapon and doesn't take care it will go off. You suck because you got another animal with this man, basically enabling his bad behavior with a new animal. I'd gaff about laughing as his ass. He deserves to get nipped real good. But this dog doesn't deserve this half-ass training that's setting it up for failure. What would you do if it bites a child? What if it gets a kid in the eye? You re-enabling his negligence. You know he is still doing this bad behavior when you not around, so you letting him lie to you because the dog doesn't bite you. JFC, grow a spine and tell your husband to stop already. And mean it. That was a lot. What's your take? And hey, if you're enjoying this, hit subscribe. We post stories like this every week.